What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we've got news of the One Piece Secret Rares. I was over in France this past weekend commentating the Lille Regional Championships for the Pokemon trading card game, and while I was away, they decided to drop the Secret Rares, so I'm sorry I'm not bringing these to you quite as fast as I usually would. We are here and able to talk about them now, and I should mention here we do have alternate art of them as well. So yay! This makes me very, very happy indeed. So starting off then, we've got Uta. Now I know some people are a little bit upset with this being a choice for the secret rare slot because there are other characters that would fit the theme of the set a little bit better. I understand that, but this is pretty cool. And also the regular art here is fine. I really like the alternate art. But alternate art secret rares, I fear, are going to be very, very, very difficult to pull. But what we've got here is a purple card, 8 cost, 8,000 power. And on play, Don -2. Your leader and all your characters gain 1,000 power until the start of your next turn. Now, there's two real things to say about this. And one of them is, holy moly, plus 1,000 to everything is awesome. And on the other hand, that is a lot. A lot, ladies and gentlemen. An awful lot. Because what we've got here is an 8 cost, and it's a play skill, so as soon as you play this, you get the skill once, and then this just becomes a vanilla card. And you've got Don -2, which means you've got to return 2 Don from the field to your Don deck. So basically here, you are asking a lot. An awful lot when you're actually trying to pull this off. That's not to say it's not going to work, and that's not to say this isn't good or anything like that. But that is to say that you are asking a lot at this stage for this to actually work. But you're giving all of your characters plus 1,000 power. That's huge, ladies and gentlemen. That is absolutely huge. We don't see this generally very much, because it's very, very good. You know, if we go on over to onepiece-cardgame.dev and we go and have a little bit of a search for skills that affect all of your characters, I mean, we've got the leader, Rorona 0, which for Dawn X1 on your turn, all of your characters gain 1,000 power, which is obviously pretty good. But that's the only way to, on your turn, just give your characters an extra 1,000 power. You've either got that specific leader or now Uta. So actually, yeah, and actually Uta here is a bit better than Rorona 0, because remember that Rorona 0 here only affects your characters, whereas Uta is your leader and all of your characters. So this is a very powerful skill. And look, right, we expect the secret rares to be good. I don't think that's a particularly weird thing here. We expect all of these secret rare characters to be good. We expect them to be a cut above regular characters because they are secret rares. So this is very, very expensive, and it's a very, very good card. But you've got to bear in mind that it is an 8 cost, and it's Don -2, and that is an awful lot. And it is a play skill, so it is very much a one-shot deal. But if you get this working, yeah. This is pretty cool. But I don't think Uta is the best of them. I think Kazan is the best of them. Now look, first thing to note about Kazan here, we've got 10 cost. Now 10,000 power is great, but it's a 10 cost. Bearing in mind, you pay for these cards by resting your Don. And your Don deck includes 10 Don cards. So in order to play Kazan, you have to have all of your Don available and rest all of your Don in order to make this work. Alright? It literally could not be any more expensive without some kind of new mechanic. You cannot have a card which is more expensive than 10. That literally doesn't work with the game as it stands at the moment. But oh my goodness, it's amazing. Because on your turn, all of your opponent's characters cost -5 or lose -5 from their cost, i.e. that your opponent can't just play all their characters for free. It means that the printed cost of your opponent's characters is -5. And if we remind ourselves at the moment what black cards do, it's just all about lowering the cost of characters and then taking advantage of those lower costs. That's like the whole thing about it. That's what they do. And I love this. If we go to the Navy start date, you've got the Sakazuki leader, who on your turn, once per turn, you pay 3, trash a card from your hand, and KO one of your opponent's characters that costs 0. If you've got this dude out, then Sakazuki becomes way better. Because now all of a sudden, you're pretty much KOing almost anything you like. Not necessarily, but come on. This is pretty good. You've got Kobe when you play. It's a 1-cost card. When you play, you can trash a card from your hand to KO up to one of your opponent's characters of a cost of 0. Well, and when I saw the Navy starter, when we saw the first couple of cards, I told you quite clearly something was missing. I told you there was something we didn't know, and I told you that these first couple of cards didn't look good enough, and they didn't. And even the Navy start deck on its own, I don't think is quite good enough. I don't think it's bad, but I don't think it's quite good enough. I mean, you've got the Secret Rare Smoker from that starter deck. As long as there's a character that costs 0 in play, this character gains double attack. We've got a lot of ways to take advantage of 0-cost characters. But, you know, we had things like Tashigi, activate main. You can rest this character to give one of your opponent's characters -2 cost during this turn. But that's not exactly a phenomenal way around it. It's not exactly, really going for it like that. You've got stuff like Hina, a free cost that gives one of your opponent's characters -4 to their cost for this turn. But again, it's a play skill. It's only for this turn. You've got to spend all your memory to do so, etc. And this was what I was thinking. We've got Helmeppo, a 2-cost that gives one of your opponent's characters -3 to their cost during their turn. And sure, it's a cheaper card, but it's still a one-shot deal that reduces the cost by 3. So you've got these really good cards that take advantage of low-cost or 0-cost cards. And you've got some ways to lower the cost, but they weren't really good enough. But then we're picking it up in Summit Dawn with these new black cards, and things are looking, I think it's fair to say, a little bit better. So we've got the Leader Smoker, that activate main once per turn, give up to one of your opponent's characters -1 to their cost during their turn. And then, if a character with a cost of 0 is in play, this leader gains 1,000, although I like Sakazuki more when you're looking at cards like this. And it was starting to look a little bit better. But we're still rolling with stuff like Tashigi here. Dawn X1, when attacking, give up to one of your opponent's characters -3 to their cost during this turn. It's a good enough card, it's a nice enough card, but it's also not working quite as well to reduce the cost as you might want it to. This is a hyper expensive card. It literally couldn't be more expensive, but it's just got a standard static skill that all of your opponent's characters get -5 to their cost, which instantly just activates all the things I've shown you and anything else that might be coming along in the future. And now we're rolling, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're rolling. I should mention, it's not necessarily just 0-cost we're looking at, because, Monkey D. Garp, as an example, lets you KO a character that's a 4-cost or less. So it doesn't necessarily need to be, I've 0-cost card or anything silly like that. Sometimes just reducing down the cost without necessarily making it 0 is still decent. I should say you have to trash a card from your hand to activate Monkey to Garp and rest it. But still, that seems worth it, frankly. But now, you look at Monkey to Garp, you take a 9-cost card, it reduces down to a 4-cost card, and oh look, now it's in range of Monkey to Garp. I adore this. I believe that black decks up to now have been fine. I think Kazan is a thing that unlocks them if you can reliably get it into play fast enough, and being a 10-cost card is obviously very, very awkward. because black is not a colour that plays a bunch of extra Don on the field, which is a little bit of a pain. If you can get it out, I think this is amazing. Oh yeah, and also on play, you KO up to one of your opponent's zero-cost characters. So again, you're just getting rid of characters. Now, the question is whether Kazan's skill here activates instantly, or whether you play this and then the skill activates. I believe it would, incidentally. So I believe it is KO one of your opponent's zero-cost characters, bearing in mind they're all -5, but I do think we'll need a ruling of that when OPO2 comes out. Either way, KOing a character when you play is just a nice little bonus, and I'm here for it. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. We've got both the secret rares, and I think the Uta's pretty cool, but I think the Kazan here is absolutely stunning, and I am here for it, but I want to know what you think. So let me know in the comment section, would you? Go nuts! Be nice! And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at Lawasi. That's where we talk One Piece and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, get a weekly bonus pod to answer all of your questions, join a Discord and chat with us, all kinds of fun things. But by far, the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossie Plays.